because he was a psychologist at Gitmo. Everyone who speaks out about this is tarred, demonized, marginalized, and the goal is to drive us entirely out of the public sphere so that nobody will raise a whisper in criticism of Islam or jihad, and therefore, after that, once they have succeeded, the Islamic jihad program will be able to proceed unchallenged, without anybody daring to say a word, and Islamic law in its totality will ultimately be imposed here. But first they have to go after the freedom of speech and impose the Sharia provision forbidding the freedom of speech, because then there can't be any resistance after that. I'll tell you one other thing about how effective this has been. A few years back there was a plot at Fort Dix. It was a failed plot. But the plan, there was a group of Muslims, and they were going to drive into Fort Dix and start shooting, and just kill as many American soldiers as they could before they were themselves killed, because the Quran says in chapter 9 verse 111 that paradise is guaranteed to those who kill and are killed for Allah. And so if paradise is guaranteed, if you kill and are killed, that's a major attraction for a religion that doesn't offer any other guarantee of paradise to anyone. And you know, hellfire is rather lovingly and lavishly displayed in the Quran. And there's talk about how your skin will be burnt off, and then you'll be given another skin so it can be burnt off. And you'll be fed molten lead to drink. And all these tortures, lavishly described. Obviously, people are terrified. And so a lot of them do opt for this. Paradise guaranteed to those who kill and are killed. And of course there are other incentives too. In paradise there are those virgins that you've heard about, who are at your service forever. This great bordello that lasts forever. And so if you have these incentives, then it's obviously something that is going to be a genuine attraction for you to try to do this. And these Muslims did. They wanted to go into Fort Dix and get themselves killed. But killing a few Americans in the process would guarantee them paradise. Okay, so they didn't do it. Why not? Because they had some videos of Osama bin Laden and the beheading of Daniel Pearl and various blood-curdling jihadi videos, and they had them on VHS tapes. And they loved these videos. They used to watch them to get themselves fired up. But they were on VHS, and so they thought, you know, it'd be really nice if we had these on DVD. And so they took them to a video store. This is a true story. They took them to a video store to get them transferred to DVD. So there's this teenage kid, and he's working at the video store. He takes the VHS, and he's working, transferring them to DVD, and his hair stands on end when he starts seeing what they are. Now, we got to give credit to this kid. I don't actually even know his name. I don't think it was ever released, but he's the hero of the story. He reported them, and they were arrested on the basis of when the investigators went in, they found so many other things, and they found the plot. And they were able to stop it. And the plotters are in prison now. But he hesitated. He went to the manager of the video store, and he said, look, you know, I'm doing this job, and I'm seeing these terrible things on these videos. Should I go to the police, or would that be racist?
Oh, no.
Think about that. Should I go to the police, or would that be racist? How do you get the idea that would be racist? What race is jihad, murder of innocent people, anyway?
Teachers Union.
Yeah, they got it from the Muslim Brotherhood groups in the United States and their willing allies on the left, who have made this into something that people just take for granted. That if you talk like I'm talking tonight, you must be a racist. Well, Islam is not a race. You know, Ibrahim Hooper of the Council on American Islamic Relations is one of the most vile, vicious, mendacious, hateful, and subversive Islamic operatives in the United States today. And he's a blonde-haired, blue-eyed Norwegian boy from Wisconsin or Minnesota or somewhere. And so is it okay If he wants to carry out CARE's agenda, the Muslim Brotherhood agenda of eliminating and destroying Western civilization from within, obviously this is not a racial issue. This is an issue of an ideology that is at variance with our fundamental principles. The foremost thing that we have to do today is stand up for the freedom of speech and to challenge vigorously and energetically, and wherever we are and whatever our position in life is, these ideas that this is somehow wrong to resist and that it's bigoted and racist to do so, and to challenge the demonization and the marginalization of good and decent people who are doing this work and who are standing for our freedoms. And to do this, you know, people always ask me, well, what can we do? Well, I don't know what you can do because I don't know where you are and what you can do. But I know that you must do something wherever you are. And you need to look around and see what has to be done. And then do it. And don't think anybody else is going to do it for you. Because nobody is. This is a war, but it's a war without guns and a war without soldiers. There is obviously a violent aspect to it. But the way the United States is being subverted today is not by means of violence. And so there is no military going to help us. As a matter of fact, with the foe of free speech in the White House, we have to be very concerned about the government apparatus being against us. But we have to keep going. It is up to us. It is up to us, but it is also up to all free people. And I can give you, in closing, one word of encouragement, and that is that every victory they attain is also defeat for them. Because every time they strong-arm somebody like the Bishop of Worcester, and every time they are able to silence one of their foes, people who are not well informed about this issue, they see what's happening, and they say, wait a minute, what's wrong with talking about Islam and jihad? The Islamic jihadis do. Why can't we talk about what they're saying? And they wake up. So every victory for them is a defeat. And eventually they're going to overreach. But don't sit back and wait for them to overreach. We have to keep fighting now. Thank you very much.